When you disrespect my company, you disrespect me. So screw DanTDM.
We are now in December, and KSI has still not let us go.
Fuck DanTDM.
But you've got whole rooms acting like this, and you made half of their careers, by the way. That might be a sign that it's time to pack it up. To add insult to injury as well, DanTDM has now responded. With that in mind, it's gonna get worse again. And even now, I am still wondering how we got to this point. And when I think about it, I think I can pinpoint the moment his brain broke forever.
You don't want this as much as I do. You don't need this as much as I do.
Now, it turns out his opponent back then did maybe want and need it more than he did. The theatre kid act is enough on its own. When you see the outcome, you can understand why maybe his brain is broken.
No pressure, Tommy. I'll see you soon.
To the winner by majority decision, Tommy.
The guy in the ring with him, Logan Paul, you probably know who that is as well. He has equally been embarrassing himself recently. And we'll get to that in a bit, because first they went to India together.
I think there's someone hanging right there.
Yeah, pretty uneventful trip really. Nothing really happened. He then did, though, when he got back, upload one of the most contrived pieces of deflection. He did it with Logan Paul 0.5. This is Logan Paul if he lived purely off Lunchley and Prime. But again, we're going to get to that in a bit, because first, I want to focus on KSI. The last couple of weeks, and especially at a Misfits event he put on, he's been losing his mind. And when I said intervention, I weren't joking.
I introduce to you, Wade.
He's role-playing as a WWE promoter. I can only assume that Logan Paul has taken him aside and said, this is the end game. And I maybe understand it in principle, you know, he's trying to promote the event. Sadly, this is just painful to watch.
Who's excited to see Slim knock out Gib? Yeah, well, screw Gib.
Screw Gib, like it is year 4 insults. I don't know if it's working. I haven't seen the pay-per-views personally. They are out in Qatar now, so you can only assume they are getting paid though. Either way, throughout this whole event, he was like twerking for Slim. I don't even really know who Slim is, other than like boxing on these events. But the bias was crazy, and who could have seen that backfiring?
Yeah, well, screw Gib.
Winner by majority decision, the 7-figure giver, and his son Gib.
Another embarrassing detail that is seemingly like passed under the radar. KSI has been going around like bragging that he beat this guy in a spar. Turns out it wasn't exactly like he represented it to be.
They don't understand what Shark Tank is you do a round, new fighter comes in every couple of rounds. Suddenly see JJ gloating that he beat me in a Shark Tank. In a thing where I'm at a disadvantage. He would get tired, go out, get a rest, come back in, and he gloated that he won that.
The SNKSI is not strength, it's shameless. And it's a bit of a tired joke, really, because, like, no expectations are being subverted. We're at a point now where it is just kind of common knowledge. And if for some reason you still need convincing, I'm sure the rest of the speech will do it for you.
A similar situation happened with Lunchley. DanTDM, he came at my company, I defended myself, and I'm seen as the bad guy.
I hate being seen as a bad guy.
Now, obviously, he is playing up to it, and people seem to think they're like Sherlock Holmes when they point this out. I think the point is he doesn't have a choice. It is the exact same line that Logan Paul used. He said he likes being the villain, but again, you know, he doesn't have a choice. And the final nail in the coffin for KSI was the DanTDM stuff. And as I said earlier, he has finally responded.
Doesn't he? I really like the idea that, like, he didn't know that. I'm going to sound like such a... He didn't know that you had more aura than him.
Now, Tommy, in it, you're walking a fine line here, because this is what KSI would say.
Got aura now. That's
Chills.
insane.
That's what they're saying. Tom speaks highly of your aura. I really do.
Well, yeah, with the whole Twitter stuff that happened, the aura was quite strong.
Now, to be fair to them, they might just be speaking in terms that they know KSI understands. As you saw at the start of the video, this guy does think he is an anime character.
Soon you will face reality and it will hurt you.
So fair enough, but I'll let it go. Either way, it does get interesting when Dan starts talking about his side.
The whole internet like had my back, which was kind of wild.
Oh yeah, it was really cool. Was it? Were you just sat in your room like, this is a bit mad?
Yeah, it was a bit ridiculous for like.
It was
like
awesome.
2 weeks.
And then the living the dream.
Living the dream was crazy. Mate, he's been crying for like 2 weeks straight, and you come in and just like,
I have a great life.
So that was the point where KSI like properly switched. I think he is probably still reeling from that tweet alone. All these jokes he's making now are probably just veiled, just ways of venting his frustration without like fully coming out. And I mean, on some level, I don't blame him. If I got done that dirty, I would also probably cry.
Yeah, I just don't know why.
I think some of it as well was interesting where I think he thought like it was all my fans going for him when actually I don't
It was
think
his
that
fans.
was the case.
No, it was the internet.
In my opinion, this is still one of the sadder bits about this. The minor KSI could just not comprehend that this wasn't just some unfair mob mentality from a whole fan base. If it was, obviously, it would be a lot easier to write off. Sadly, it was everybody. And he is not the only one suffering from this delusion. I mentioned it earlier, but Logan Paul, he's crashing out in an entirely different way.
You might recognize this handsome devil. His name is Matt Shea, and he works for the BBC and Vice. He's the grown man who was told he could interview Andrew Tate if he brought him a box of chocolates.
Do you have the chocolate?
Yeah. But when he arrived with his big box of chocolates, his dreams were crushed. The Tates ghosted him.
To cut a long story short, a BBC journalist has been looking into Logan Paul's crypto. As you probably already know, there are many allegations around his many ventures in this field. And you know, it's a journalist's job to do this. Sadly, Logan Paul, you know, you could probably expect, he weren't happy.
That's okay, because his original Tate hit piece for Vice garnered 5 million views, only to be ripped apart for unverified and one-sided allegations that is right on brand for an organization as credible as the BBC and Vice.
Now, you know it's bad when Logan Paul is turning to the public for help. And these comments, by the way, are on an Andrew Tate video anyway. Either way, like, he's been under a lot of scrutiny by the public recently. And when he was on the receiving end, he had a very different view of people giving their opinions online.
People are idiots, and they don't even know that. They're so stupid, they don't even know they're stupid. So you see a headline, and it's not, does that sound like it could be true? It's, that must be true, it's on X.
Yeah, Logan, I don't think you can have both here. You've kind of got to pick one. In fairness, maybe if I was Logan Paul, I would just cherry pick depending on what suited me.
Backlash was so bad, they had to turn their comments off.
This is also a guy who turns off replies on everything he tweets. To be fair, I'm wrong actually. He only lets people he follows reply, which is arguably worse, you know, because to earn a follow from Logan Paul, you got to do some serious glazing, really.
British media conglomerate that you might know because they've been platforming predators for the past 50 years. Got a list: Jimmy Savile, Chris Denning, Chris Langham, Jonathan King, Rolf Harris, Stuart Hall, and currently Hugh Edwards.
Now, he is right. Some serious stuff has gone on at the BBC over the years. It is disgusting, but it is also a huge organisation. This guy is still just an individual operating under this massive umbrella, though. I mean, you, for example, wrestle for the WWE, the old boss who still owns stock in the company. Well, it is also alleged that he's done some stuff too.
Anyway, I give this context because while Matt Shea reports for organizations with proven, known history of sexual misconduct, he advances his career through the investigation of alleged sexual misconduct. Ironic. Also, being an investigator himself, I wonder what Matt knows. I'm not saying anything.
Listen, I love a good jab, but if the shoe was on the other foot, you would probably sue. With that in mind, the magic's a little bit lost. Either way, this is where we get to the crux of the video, because everything he's mentioned so far is basically a way to delegitimize the allegations. And I mean, even in theory, it's not just the BBC making these allegations.
Oh, in the subject matter? You guessed it, a barrage of crypto-related scam allegations that I, have heard before. Now look, you put the words Logan Paul, crypto, and scammer in the same sentence, you got yourself a never-ending goldmine of YouTube views. I get it. But as I said before, and I will maintain, I did not scam anyone. I made $0 off these Crypto Zoo scam allegations. I don't know how many times I need to say it. I did the first ever buyback in NFT history. Shut
the fact that he made no money does not exonerate him either, so I don't know what he's trying to say there. If somebody walked into a bank with a gun and they fail, it does not mean they're innocent. I hate to break it to you. Either way, they did finally get to the prank bit, and sadly, I don't think this went as well as they thought it would.
There's a strange atmosphere in the room, and a suspicious amount of Logan's own cameras pointed at us. All of a sudden, it becomes clear why.
What's up, dude?
How's it going? Thanks. Matt, sorry, I'm tired.
No worries.
Last night was hard. How are you enjoying? All right. How are you enjoying Puerto Rico?
Yeah, pretty good, man.
The lookalike is clearly nervous.
I mean, if this was anything else, like if this was just a harmless prank, it probably would be funny. Mostly because this guy looks nothing like Logan Paul. But yeah, I think the result that came from this, it wasn't what he thought it would be.
Is Logan coming?
I'm right here, bud. You came all the way to Puerto Rico from England. This is your interview. What do you got?
Look, these are some very serious questions.
you know, there are people who really want to know the answer to these
I'm
questions.
a serious person.
I mean, whatever they're paying this guy, they need to pay him more. He is better than normal Logan Paul. Either way, their cover lasted like half a TikTok. They then did pull out the big finale.
He came all the way to Puerto Rico for this interview.
File. They hired web files. They hired web files. Neither. Stop touching child leaders. Stop touching child leaders. Fuck the BBC.
So, rather than defend himself against the allegations we've been investigating, Logan decided to troll us. Minutes after leaving the gym, we receive a letter from lawyers on behalf of Logan Paul warning us against publishing our allegations.
Literally nothing screams a good prank like following up with a letter from your lawyers. Like in Sub, or he might sue you too.